Good afternoon, traders. It's the chart review for 5/29/2019. Hey, I'm going to show you the call from this morning, and then I'll go over it in a little bit on how I was able to determine that this could be a turning point for the market. Okay, let's watch the clip. We've got this area of 2766 that you have a big gap in, with the top of the node at 2757, and I think that's pretty much the range extreme for the day, so it could be a fast move down if we go back down below this node. Okay, before we get started, if you think that having that kind of analysis before you start your trading day in the futures market would be helpful, it'd be great to help grow my channel if you would subscribe to my channel, put some comments down below, let me know, your thoughts, questions, whatever you got, and I can continue to make these videos and make these calls for you. So we are looking at the daily chart. I know it's very hard to see some of it, but so I had called that 80 level where we're currently parked at right here, that if we would have broke down under there, we'd get a pretty fast move. And I called the 66 area, which lines up with these two pivots, and I'll show you on another chart that there's a couple more pivots right here, and then the other 2756 area lined up perfectly with this node right here in the top of that pivot. We didn't reach there, but that was why I made that second call. So let's jump over, and if you look at the 240 right here, I'm going to put my yellow line right at the bottom right there, and you see this pivot right here lines up perfect with that pivot. Look at the missing volume right here. This was so thin, that's why I said that it was going to move through here pretty fast. This is the 80 area right here. See how we defeated this pivot right here and basically fell at that point. You can see it again over here on the 60. There's a pivot right here. I know the candles are real small, but that's the only way I can kind of get both of them because they're so far away. There's that pivot again. I talk about these opposing pivots quite a bit in my videos. Let's look at the intraday real quick. And for some reason it didn't draw me an arrow. So this is the 2780 area. This was the start of the morning right here, this blue line. And I said, hey, if we get down underneath this area, so look at this big volume that it made. Basically it was trading back and forth, testing the top and the bottom of it. That's what volume nodes do, basically keep on testing top and bottoms. We get over here and we break out, and I said that we would have a fast move, and there was the fast move, and it took you all the way to 2766, just like that. Again, how did I know? I had profiled the volume back over here. If I even take this guy and move him to just this last candle, look how thin the volume is. A lot of people call these big candles really strong, but I totally disagree with that theory. What I notice is if you have a big candle up, when it comes back through, it usually flies right back through it. Back up, fast through it. What happens is that when you get these fast moving candles, nobody builds a position, you don't get these volume nodes, and because nobody has committed themselves at a level, it will basically fly through those levels. So you can see it here, coming back down, You see it here, coming back up. You know, it happens over and over again. I do not find long candles to be signs of strength. I find that they are weakness, actually, because nobody builds a position in there. They move too fast, and when price comes back through them, they move pretty quick, and you can look at the volume and kind of determine that. So a couple videos ago, I talked about how we broke out of this area. We're now trading down. We've kind of tested some tops and bottoms here right across the area. If I scrunch this up, you can see that we are now down into this area. Maybe you got to squint, I don't know, but I can definitely see a level across here. I see a bunch of tops. I see some bottoms. You know, so this is a big area. If we look at the weekly, and I pull this guy back, right? Give it a second. Sorry, it's going to take a little bit of time to calculate there. Here's the bottom. Look, we're right in between this node and this node. So that's where we traded into, and my prediction at this point is we're going to make this bounce here. We're going to go up. The question is do we test the bottom right here and give up and make another leg down, or do we test up even into higher volume areas like the top of this range, and then maybe pull back at that point? So there's a couple levels up here. This one especially has high volume, so I'll have to do some more kind of analysis and kind of make a determination. But so I think tomorrow is an up day. We've got a bounce going on, and you know, we got to kind of take a look at where the bigger volume nodes is, and it's up here at the top. You've got a level right here, and the starting point. So if it's really weak, it'll test the bottom of this and fail, right? So you've got a node right here. You can kind of see it. Low volume area, low volume area. You got a node right here. So the way that these kind of work is you test the bottom, you get a pullback. If it's a strong pullback, it goes. If it's a weak pullback, you get a small test down to maybe like right here, or maybe 27.89, and then it bounces and it goes across this node and it'll test to the top, and it'll be 28.40 up there, 28.32. Let's take a look at the rest of the day and look at the scalping level. So here was the open. We bounced back up, traded through. It tried to do a bounce right here before my scalping level. It just really didn't. It was too weak. Bounced through. The opposite side of the level came into play, and basically you would have got your point off of that because you tested the level. It comes back up. First hit back up here, nice sell. Would have got a couple points out of that. It actually did it again here and made a big sell off right at this point. Didn't stop here. It had already tested this area right here. You had a nice little bounce right in here. Would have left this level alone because it no longer clean. Trades through. It's finding support. It's trading on both sides, right? That's what support and resistance is. It's basically trading on both sides, and finally breaks out, goes through, comes back, tests this area, finds support there, trades all the way up to the top line, almost gets it. I think when I look back here, this was a perfect, almost perfect test of this level right down here. So I probably should have had that line a little bit lower, but usually I'm trying to put the levels against more volume, so you can see that's the bottom of the candle right there. It's the top of the thing. but I'm usually trying to go against more volume in order to make the counter trend trade a little bit more safe. You get a sell-off, come back to this level, nice bounce, trades through, comes back, finds the resistance on the other side, goes on through. You even get a bounce on this side right here. You probably could have got a point 83, 81.75, so you would have got a point out of that bounce too. Came back, found it again, trades down. You can just see too many tests here. Goes through the level, finds support, gets a bounce, breaks back down, comes back down to the level, bounces again, comes through, finds the resistance on the other side, and it's gone at that point. No bounce here. Market's getting too weak. Does chop around quite a bit in here in the 77 level, 78 level. This was basically that 80 level it was trying to hold on to. And at that point it was just gone. At that point you can see it did try to bounce this level right here. You would have took some heat, 74, 75.25. You would have got a point out of that trade too. You get a bounce off of this scalp level here. That was a great one. 68.25 to 72, almost 4 points there. Breaks below this one, finds a bunch of resistance, and we're off to the races at that point. Comes back up. You would have got a scalp off of that one. Breaks through, finds support on the opposite side. Again, you would have got a scalp off of that one. Chop, 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 chop. You can see that it definitely bounced off of that one right there, but that candle right there goes through, comes back through, and basically the hype machine or whatever, I don't know, is started and activated at that point, and it just blows through all the levels at that point. You can see that it was going to try and pull off of that level. Comes back, finds support on this scalping level, first touch back up, trades, and then trades back up, trades down, basically chopping down, and we end the day taking off once again to the upside. And here we go. So you can see the levels work pretty good most of the time. You can definitely get scalps off of them. You have to use context when you're going through them. So keep those in mind. And let's see here for the last piece right here. I think, can't remember where I exactly drew this in. Somewhere right here this morning. Got the two levels right here. Look at first touch right here, bounce off of it. Comes back, another touch right here, bounces off. Usually the first touches are usually pretty good. Here's another touch right here. Another touch, bounce. Symmetry, bounce, bounce, finds the bottom, comes back up, gets above this one, chops around, but touches that one, bounces off, bounce. So these are just symmetry levels, 100% range extensions of what this is. You can watch the morning video. I show you how to start it out and draw it. But anyways, don't want to make the video too long. Hope you like the video. Please subscribe, help my channel. Leave comments with questions so I know what to address, what you're not getting. And I will see you in the morning for more trade calls. Take care.